Hi, my name is Norman. Have you ever worked on very small, tiny pieces? If you did, you know that you're gonna spend a lot of time bent over your workbench in a very unhealthy manner. So when I work on, for example, custom watches, I usually just go to my desk. It's height adjustable, and then I raise it and I'll be fine. However, as soon as I need some things like soldering iron, I need to come back to my workbench and I run into the same problems as I did before. So of course, for almost every problem there's also a solution, and that's what we're gonna build today. As a baseboard for my tiny workbench, I'm using this offcut of MDF, which I found for cheap in the scrap bin of my local hardware store. So far I haven't really planned the dimensions, but I think 40 centimeters wide is going to be just perfect for what I need. And now we're already done with the base plate. As for the legs, I thought it would be kind of annoying to have them swinging around while you're trying to set up your mini workbench. So I included a spring-loaded retaining pin in the design, which is going to hold the leg in two positions. One is of course open and one is folded down. Because especially the retaining pin is a very small part and my printer is currently not dialed in, I have to file down the parts to get them to dimension. So repeat that 3 more times and we got a whole set of tiny workbench legs, which we put together for nothing because now we have to take them apart again to be able to attach them to the base plate. I'm basically just eyeballing the position and marking it with a pencil. Then I'm using a center punch and pre-drill about, 3 millimeters so that the screw is gonna find its way later. And now I realized that I was working with the wrong diameter all the time. So next thing to do is increasing the diameter of the holes and also of the countersink holes with a drill. And then we're finally ready to put the leg attachments onto the base plate. Although MDF is okay, I guess, I think that a leather bench top would be a lot nicer. As you can tell, I really like leather. It's grippy, but not too grippy, and it's heat resistant. Yeah, I just generally like it as a bench top. I bought this box of leather offcuts from a leather factory. You can just order them online by the kilogram, basically. Yeah, not all parts, not all leathers are my style, but I think this one is pretty neat. And yeah, we're gonna use it. And now you can see that years of tool hoarding is finally paying off. It's just making cutting this leather to size a breeze. You can also see that I'm cutting it slightly short on one end. Well, let's just say I got plans for one edge, and those require a clean edge without leather on it. Well, and guess what? You don't really have to wait too long until the reveal of those plans. Yeah, I brought in my biggest fan. We're gonna build some fume extraction. I initially thought about building an integrated fume extraction, sucking from down below, but honestly I'm not ready to sacrifice that much rigidity for the ability to accidentally drop small screws through my work surface. So instead we're gonna clamp the fan to the side of the workbench. I actually designed and printed this thing according to the technical drawings from Noctua. So upon testing the fit for the first time, something seemed a little bit off. Yeah, turns out they don't include their rubber pads into their technical drawings and measurements. So I decided also not to include the rubber pads. And well guys, you know the drill. Threaded brass inserts, press fit, hex nuts, and bad framing. Yeah, I think you understand how this thing is assembled, so here we are. Now it's time to get some power into the fan, and usually you have the red and the black wire, but for some reason with this Noctua fans it's yellow and black. So yellow is the positive and black is the negative. The other ones are for pulse width modulation and fan speed, I think, so we can just cut them off, we won't need them. And then it's just some basic soldering to connect it to the barrel plug. Test run. Nice. I added a little noose for the zip tie. And in contrast to Noctua, I actually also added tolerances for my rubber pads. So those are to prevent the clamp from slipping off. Holding your hand in front of the fan doesn't feel like much, but after a quick test, I'm pretty sure it works really, really well. Well, there you have it. Tiny little table for my table with a very satisfying click, by the way. Yeah, as usual, when building tools for the workshop, basically only time will tell if it's helpful or not. For now, I think it's gonna be very helpful, especially my back is gonna thank me. Also, I don't know why I didn't build this earlier, but fume extraction is so nice. I'm used to holding my breath while soldering because the fumes usually come directly into your face. Not having to do that anymore is a big plus. And also, of course, not having to bend over the workbench and still being able to see what I'm doing when working on small parts. I love it already. Yeah, I know it's a little bit wobbly, but I think that's not going to be a big problem because, well, it's not made for hard work. It's made for very fine work. So when I put my wrists on here, it's not going to shake more than my wrists will. So I don't think that's going to be a big problem. Again, only time will tell. I designed these things to lay exactly flat. So we theoretically have two work positions, like a very sturdy lower height, which is still higher than the bench, but also, of course, the one which it's made for, the higher height. So, I don't know, you'll see me using it in the future videos and maybe I like it, maybe I won't, I don't know. Either way, I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you learned something new today. Maybe if you have ideas for improvement, how to make this thing better, drop them down below in the comments. And see you guys in the next one, bye bye.